So in this video, we're going to learn how to make the cow catcher. So you can see what the final product looks like here. If you look at the bottom, it's shelled out on the inside. And we can see in the directions, it actually asks for that. You can see that it's open. It's just empty space on the inside, and you can see the bottom is bottomed out. So we go to a new document, new standard part, and we'll start a new sketch. I'm going to go ahead and start a sketch from the top view. Turn it sideways so I can read top. And I'm going to just sort of sketch this general shape here, this little rectangle with a triangle on the end. And I'm actually going to draw the bottom face first. And I can kind of tell that this shape matches the bottom shape as well. Just the one on bottom is a little bit bigger than the one on top. Let's draw a rectangle. I'm going to start it on this yellow dot so I can get it fully constrained. And I'm going to go ahead and add these lines. As you can kind of see where I'm getting this shape from, I'm sort of making this shape here. I'm going to go to trim and trim this off. Now, the next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to select my equal constraint, and I'm going to tell this line and this line to be equal, and I'm going to tell these two lines to be equal as well. Now I'm going to start adding my dimensions. I'm going to start with the bottom face. So if we look at this flat, long face, this face right here, here it is from the back, it's supposed to be 1.8 inches long. So I'll go to dimension, type in 1.8. Then I'm going to tell these two lines to be 0.25. And I'm getting that dimension from right here, this 0.25. And it says typical, meaning we can expect it's 0.25 on the other side. Next, I can see that this, from the back to the front, is 1.00. So I go from here to here, and I'll tell that to be 1 inch. And you can see that it's completely purple. When it's completely purple, it means it's fully constrained. It means I can't do anything else to it. I can't move it around. I can't change the size because I've given it all its dimensions. If I try to add any more dimensions, it'll say it's over constrained. So for example, if I try to tell this to this was 0.9, it already knows it's 0.9. And I cannot add any more dimensions. So I'll finish the sketch. I've got the bottom face down here drawn. Now, the top face is basically the exact same face, just a little bit higher. And I can see that height, that it is higher, is 0.75. So I'm going to make an offset work plane. I'm going to open up my origin over here in my browser. And I'm going to select the plane that I was just working on. I'm going to drag it up 0.75 inches. And I'm going to start a new sketch on this field. And so again, I'm going to draw within this sketch above, and you can see I'm drawing on this work plane here. But within this sketch, I'm going to draw the exact same shape, just smaller. So draw a rectangle and draw the little triangle. And of course, again, I'll trim off the rectangle because I don't need it. And I'm going to start adding my dimensions. So first off, I'm going to tell these two lines to be equal again, using my equal constraint. And I'm going to tell these two lines to be equal again. So that way, as I dimension one, they both dimension. Now, next, I'm going to add a dimension to this line right here. And I'm going to tell it to be, if you look, it's from one end to the other, it's 1.2. And you see how it kind of moved it outside? That's fine. We can move it back to where it's supposed to be. Move it back in and so forth. Okay, now it's back inside. If you look up here, it's still 0.25 and it's still typical. So I'm going to tell this to be 0.25. And again, as it runs into it, I can move it back to where it needs to be. Next, I look and I can see that from the back to that front corner there, that's supposed to be 0.75. So I hit dimension and I hit back to that corner there and tell that to be 0.75. Now I'm almost done. I just need to make sure that from here to the center is 0.6, which it looks like that already is. This constraint would over-constrain it, so that 0.6 already exists. So now I just need to line it up with this bottom sketch below it. So to do that, I'm going to hit Project Geometry, and I'm going to turn on 1, 2, 3, these 3 lines. And you can see it turned them yellow. And it's a little confusing. What it actually did was it projected those 3 lines onto my new sketch. So now I can use them in this sketch. And they just happen to overlap because, well, one's on top of the other. But it just takes those 3 lines and projects them up. So now I'm going to use them as a reference. First off, I can see that these 2 lines are right on top of each other. So I'm going to use my collinear constraint, and I'm going to select these 2 lines to be the same line. And lastly, I'm going to dimension from here to here to be right in the middle, which simple math tells me it's 0.3. And I know I'm right because if I go over to this side, it's also 0.3. And that's it. It's purple, 100% purple, so it's fully constrained. So now I finish my sketch and I hit Loft, and I'm going to select my 2 sketches. 1, 2, and they loft together. I'm going to turn that work plane off. So now all I really need to do is sketch on these 2 faces, add the shell, and add the backs. Okay, so first off, let's add a sketch on this face. You see how it'll let me go straight to the sketch? Occasionally, it won't let you. And the only reason why that would happen is you didn't set 2 of your sides equal in one of your sketches. So for example, if you didn't set these 2 lines equal, or these 2 lines equal, or maybe these 2 on either one of these sketches, you won't be able to actually sketch on this face. If you have that problem, you need to go back and set those equal. But other than that, I'm going to go ahead and use or make this shape. Now instead of grabbing my line tool and drawing it out, I'm going to use my offset tool and draw. But if you notice, I can't click on this face because I need to turn the face on. I got to project the geometry onto my work plane. Now I hit offset and I can drag it in. If you look, it says the distance from one end to the other is 0.1. So I'll type in 0.1 and hit enter. And now I got a shape. I'll finish my sketch and extrude it. I want it to cut, and I want it to go a distance of, it doesn't say here, but if you look here really closely, you can see that the shell is 0.1 thick, and you can see that this little face is 0.05. So that means that this is 0.1 minus 0.05, or, 0.05. So now all I'm going to do is do the exact same thing on the other face. New sketch, project geometry, offset, 0.01, not 0.01, I'm sorry. Make that 0.1. Finish my sketch, extrude, again cut, 0.05 in, because math. Now I got both those faces cut inward. So next, I'm going to go ahead and add this shell. That's what this is denoting. That's what these sections are telling me. It's saying cut on the inside, it's hollow. So if I look really closely, I can see that there is no bottom in this shape. So what that is the bottom face was removed and it's shelled out on the inside. So to do that, I'm going to go to the bottom face. I'm going to hit shell. I'm going to tell it to be 0.1 thick, and I'm going to keep remove face on. I'm going to remove that bottom face. Hit OK, and now we can see it's hollow on the inside. Lastly, all we need to do is add these 3 little circular extrusions on the back. So go to my back face, go to New Sketch, and I'm going to draw those 3 circles. So to do that, I'm just going to draw 3 circles. I'm going to be very careful not to lock them onto these random lines here. See how I just hit a line? Don't want to do that. So I'm going to hit Control Z, I'm going to draw a circle again. I'm going to make sure I'm not locking it onto any lines. And I'm just going to draw 3 random circles. Now I'm going to use my equal constraint. And I'm going to set all 3 of these to be equal to each other. Then I'm going to tell them to be the size they're supposed to be. And setting one size will set all 3 because I told them all they have to be equal. If I look here, I can see the diameter of all 3 is 0.125. It says 1 is 0.125. Then it says TYP, which means of a type or typical, meaning this shape is typically 0.125 inches in diameter. You can see all three changed in size. All I got to do is tell them where they go. So if I look really closely, I can see that this circle right here is 0.125 away from the bottom. And I can also see that it's 0.275 from this edge. I'll do the same thing for this one. 0.275 and 0.125. And the last one should be 0.625 away from the center, or from this edge one. Or you could have just clicked on the corner and had it go right in the middle, which would be 0.9. Then I need to tell how far away it is from the bottom. It looks like it's 0.625 away from the bottom. So 0.625. Drag that up so you can see it. And then I just finish my sketch and I'll extrude those three. 1, 2, 3. And how far out do they go? Well, if I look closely, I can see that it goes out 0.125, and again, that is typical or of a type. That means all three go out 0.125. And then I can add my chamfers if I want to right there. But that's it. That's the cow catcher.